Okay. Hi, good morning, everybody. Let's all rise. We're going to sing Spirit of Life, which is 123, and sing with the choir.
Good morning. And welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Spokane, where our mission is to join together to create a nourishing, liberal, religious home and to champion justice, diversity, and environmental stewardship in our wider world, or as we say in short, create community, find meaning, and live justly. Work for justice or live justly, both of them work, so yeah. We're glad to have you with us this morning. We're a very welcoming congregation, and we appreciate your unique experiences, backgrounds, lifestyles, and beliefs. And if you're one of our long-term members or have been here a short time, or if you're joining us today for the very first time, we're so glad you are with us. We're also very grateful for those that are streaming with us today, and for those that we have on Zoom. Do we have some people joining us on Zoom, Todd, this morning?
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear me, but we can't hear that. We couldn't hear the music, and I think what we're going to do on the Zoom gang is to go to watch it on the streaming service, and then come back here for coffee discussion. So okay. I think that's what I'm going to do, and Ron as well. So and invite anybody in the congregation who wishes to join us afterwards. We'd be glad to have people join a Zoom chat. But the sound and video is just not very good on Zoom, so we'll watch it on the much superior streaming service.
Yeah, very good. Well, thank you for letting us know that too. So we appreciate that you're with us this morning. It is also going to be my pleasure today to welcome this morning our guest speaker, Mery Smith. Looking forward to her poetry and her insights, and I'll have more information about her shortly before her presentation. You will notice that our unity candle is lit this morning. It's lit to honor the light and life of our long-term church member Donna Borden-Rose, who passed away early Monday morning. During her more than 55 years as a member, Donna was a regular face and a voice in our church choir, but also worked diligently behind the scenes of our church. She was on the board of trustees, she was on our operations team, our finance team, our endowment team, and so much more. We'll miss her, and we'll always remember her with great appreciation, and we are especially thinking of her entire family this morning. Lynn, you have some announcements now? What? Okay. I remember.
Thank you. Good morning. As we move into April, it is time for our annual generosity campaign. This is our opportunity to reflect on what brings you here. The theme of this year's campaign, inspired by the beautiful song by Sarah Thompson. Next Sunday, after the second service, our social activities team, Michelle Atwood and Lynn Diddens, are hosting a special luncheon to kick things off. Lunch will be provided, and donations will be gladly accepted. We hope you'll join us. This year, we have an exciting opportunity. Tom and Mary Mosier have generously offered to match the basket. So every dollar raised at the luncheon next week will be doubled and go directly into our church's operation fund. Pledge forms are already available for you online. They look just like this if you click on Generosity Campaign on our website. And hard copies will be available for you to fill out at the luncheon. And be sure to check out our paper tree in the back in our Friendship Hall. Right now, its branches are bare, but for every pledge that comes in, we'll add a leaf and watch our generosity bring that tree to life. So let's come together and celebrate what this community means to us and step into spring with a spirit of abundance. Thanks.
Thank you, Lynn. Now I'd like to just take a few moments to allow you to greet one another, say hello to someone you haven't met before, and thank you. We'll have more time to greet one another and share stories and conversation after the service and enjoying coffee. And at this time, we now turn from our informal greeting of one another to formally begin our service by the lighting of our chalice, the symbol of Unitarian Universalism, the symbol of our unity and solidarity, of our openness and our inclusion, of our community and individual uniqueness. May this small flame be our offering of warmth to those who are cold and alone, and a light to those in need, in darkness. May it be a flame that ignites justice in our world and a beacon of hope to those in need. And may it reflect at least a spark of truth wherever truth has been lost, and cast a healthy shadow of doubt where it has been found. Now, Mary will provide our opening reflection.
That's okay. Good morning. Good morning. This is a poem called Yes, We Can Talk by Mark Nepo. Having loved enough and lost enough, I am no longer searching, just opening. No longer trying to make sense of pain, but trying to be a soft and sturdy home in which real things can land. These are the irritations that rub into a pearl. So we can talk a while, but then we must listen the way rocks listen to the sea. and we can churn at all that goes wrong, but then we must lay all distractions down and water every living seed. And yes, on nights like tonight, I too feel alone, but seldom do I face it squarely enough to see that it is a door into the endless breath that has no breather, into the surf that human shells call God.
Circle round for freedom. Please feel free to stand up and sing with us.
We will now kindle our candles of care. And each time as we gather as a congregation, there are always those who are with us in our minds and our hearts, and who we want to wrap in our love and care. We kindle candles for the family of Donna Borden Rose this morning, as well as those involved in the Middle East and Ukraine and other areas of the world. Today, let us share a moment in silence, embracing others who are here and here in our hearts and minds this morning. And you're welcome to share their names out loud as you wish. Those named aloud, and those embraced in our silence, and all those who are suffering elsewhere in our world at this hour, we hold in our community of compassion. And we now gratefully give and receive this morning's offering, which sustains this community and its mission to the larger world.
Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to arise. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly, oh blackbird fly, into the light of the dark black night. blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to arise. You were only waiting for this moment to arise.
Thank you so much. Such a beautiful song, and you always bring something new and fresh to these familiar songs. So I was a student for 17 years and a teacher for 15, and March has always been a hard month because spring break is just almost there. If you have kids or if you remember being a kid, you know what I'm talking about. And so I have brought for our Time for All Ages this morning one of my favorite poems this time of year by Shel Silverstein called Sick. You may know it, yes? I cannot go to school today, said little Peggy Ann McKay. I have the measles and the mumps, a gash, a rash, and purple bumps. My mouth is wet, my throat is dry, I'm going blind in my right eye. My tonsils are as big as rocks, I've counted 16 chicken pox. And there's one more, that's 17. And don't you think my face looks green? My leg is cut, my eyes are blue. It might be instamatic flu. I cough and sneeze and gasp and choke. I'm sure that my left leg is broke. My hip hurts when I move my chin. My belly button's caving in. My back is wrenched, my ankles sprained. My appendix pains each time it rains. My nose is cold, my toes are numb. I have a sliver in my thumb. My neck is stiff, my voice is weak. I hardly whisper when I speak. My tongue is filling up my mouth. I think my hair is falling out. My elbow's bent, my spine ain't straight. My temperature is 108. My brain is shrunk, I cannot hear. There's a hole inside my ear. I have a hangnail, and my heart is, what? What's that you say? You say today is Saturday? Oh, goodbye, I'm going out to play.
There are some mornings I feel like that. I'd like to welcome you now into a moment of tranquility and self-reflection. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and let go of the chaos around you. Allow yourself to be present in this peaceful space, embracing stillness and inner calm. In this fast-paced world, carving out this time for yourself is a precious gift. Feel the tension melting away with each exhale. Embrace the serenity of this moment, letting go of worries and distractions. Be fully present in this space of tranquility, where your mind can find peace and your soul can rejuvenate. Let the gentle rhythm of your breath guide you deeper into this meditation, where clarity and inner calm await.
doesn't hurt me? Do you want to feel how it feels? Do you want to know that it doesn't hurt me? Do you want to hear about the deal that I'm making? It's you. You and me won't be unhappy. 'Cause if I only could, I'd make a deal with God, and I'd get him to swap our places. We'll be running up that road, we'll be running up that hill, running up that building. I say if I only You don't want to hurt me, but you see how deep the bullet lies. I know where I'm tearing you asunder, and there is thunder in our hearts, baby. It's you. You and me won't be unhappy. 'Cause if I only could, I'd make a deal with God, and I'd get him to swap our places. We'll be running up that road, we'll be running up that hill, be running up that building. So if I only could. Come on, baby. Come on, darling. Let me steal this moment from you now. Come on, baby. Come on, darling. Let's exchange the experience. I said if I only could, I'd make a deal with God, and I'd get him to swap our places. We'll be running up that road, we'll be running up that hill with no problems. Say if I only could make a deal with God and get him to swap our places. We'll be running up that road, be running up that hill with no problems.
It's my pleasure now to introduce Mery Smith, devoted mother of 5, a poet, storyteller, artist, and an addiction advocate. She's Spokane's 5th Poet Laureate, expanding poetry's reach into unconventional spaces such as jails, recovery centers, and youth groups. Mery is author of Crumbs, 2021. It's a chapbook. Our poem Genesis 2.4, I guess. And then God rested for all of the work he had done, was nominated for a 2024 Pushcart Prize by Trestle Creek Review. Mery's work has been anthologized in Listen to Your Mother, What She Said Then, What We're Saying Now, and in Pivot and Pause. Mery was featured recently in it was a featured artist in Pictures of Poetry in 2023 as well. So please join me now in welcoming Mery Smith.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here this morning. Good morning, everyone, again. I do wish I could see all of you, though, but this is a beautiful building, and I've just really enjoyed the music this morning and what's been shared so far. I almost put Shel Silverstein in my talk today, actually. That would have been embarrassing. So I guess I want to just start by saying that I should not be here by all measures. 16 years ago, I was a falling down blackout drunk and was not someone you would invite into your building, your homes, your school rooms, and those are all places today I really enjoy as an honored guest because I am sober. And sobriety, is what set me on the path. I knew something wasn't quite right, but I didn't know what it was. And so I often looked out here, in my world and my family, and I could point to the people, and the things that they were doing wrong and the ways they didn't quite understand me, my pain. It was always like an employer's fault. Teacher didn't grade the thing on time. Mom never, helped me get ready for the big test. And sure, some of that could be true, it probably was to some extent. But the other real fact is that I always wanted something for nothing. And this life costs something, you gotta pay some way. And my grandfather, Gregory Sherman, he used to say, nothing is for free. You can't ride for free. Thing with you that matters, and leave everything with you, or with those that you love. So just to say, there's no way that I would be poet laureate and a mom too. I have 4 children at home who've never seen me drink, which is a miracle. It occurred to me that I was kind of like on a snow globe of sorts. I could see all the wonderful things in my life, see how things were getting put back together, relationships had been restored, my sense of self was coming back. I wasn't so terrified of being in the world without, something in my system to make me feel a little bit different. But it wasn't it either. And then I had this idea, what if could I be single and stay sober? I didn't know. My higher power. They were really good and they had a job. And to me, that was a big deal. I mean, I didn't, how does somebody keep a job for several years in a row? It was beyond me at that time. So I thought, at 8 years sober, I probably could stay sober and not be married to this person. And then fast track 4 or 5 years later, I'm 13 years sober at this point. I have a 13-year-old, an 11-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 6, almost 7-year-old. And life is going pretty good for me. And I wanted to die. Didn't want to drink, but I wanted to die. And I was looking at every back exit around I could. I didn't want to be here, and I was just perplexed by that. I forgot to set my timer, by the way. I'll put it up at like 15 minutes. So at that point, I started telling people that I love, people in this room, that secret, that thing that made me feel really yucky and dark. Because when you're sober, you're supposed to be grateful. You got your life back. You got a roof over your head. You got clothes on your back and food in your belly. It's good enough. And there's some things around, not all recovery circles, but there are some things that I found to be true around some recovery circles that was like, what do you have to be feeling sorry for yourself for? It's good enough. But there's this knowing inside me I could not deny. And the more I tried to resist and deny that, the worse off I became. Going around working with the still suffering, volunteering my time in my kids' classroom, being present, drinking water, getting 8 hours of sleep, going on walks, and being miserable. I'm doing everything right. I have sound mind, body, and soul. What's up? And I was struck by the idea that you can still like betray yourself on the inside, that inner landscape. I went and visited your little chapel back here a few minutes before we got started, and it was so quiet and it was so peaceful. And that's kind of what I imagine is on the inside of me. I have a little chapel in there that I can go into that room and I can be okay. And there, that power that I, for shorthand, call God is there. And it can be winter and I have summer. It can be a storm and I've got peace. So I went into that place with some real honesty and with the love of my community, people that I let see me and know me, and I started telling the truth. And the way that I found for me that worked was poetry. It wasn't so easy to be in the grocery store just telling people I'm miserable. I'm absolutely miserable. Hi, yes, I'd like that ham. But I could start writing these poems, and I could exaggerate and elaborate and really zoom in on a moment, and it could be really super true for just that 1 second. It didn't have to be timeless. It didn't have to be classic. It didn't have to be profound. It didn't have to be even true in 2 weeks or 2 years from now. But practicing that moment of really paying attention. That's what poetry is. That's the way that I understand it, is just paying attention and telling the truth, what I find there, even if it's just the truth of that moment. And then this thing started happening. I started telling the truth, and people didn't like it. They said, but don't put your name on it. Then they're going to know it's me. I think everyone knows who Anne Lamott is, right? And Anne said if they wanted to be written about better, they should have behaved better. And I stopped protecting other people so I could save myself. I started making friends with my desire and my pleasure and my selfishness, which we have villainized for some reason. I'm sure it serves some sort of patriarchal idea, but if you're selfish and if you want things and if you desire things, then you're bad. And that's not entirely true. It's like most other things. There's some truth in it, And then there's some other truth in it, that I could be good and kind and loving and warm and of service, and that I could also desire and want and protect myself, that I could celebrate myself even in those things. So I kept putting my name on my poems, and I kept publishing them, and I kept putting my name into the hat for things in which I did not feel qualified for. And I started hosting workshops and opening spaces to people I thought who might need it, because I needed it, and it didn't quite exist yet for me. Everything I knew about writing was cemented in the fact that I was an alcoholic and I had to do a lot of writing. If you're an alcoholic, you got to do so much writing, and you have to write lists, and you have to write inventories, and you've got to remember prayers, and you've got to remember lines from the book that we read, or else it's very embarrassing for you to go to a meeting, because you have to know a lot of things. And so it was all writing for this very good reason, and all the reading you have to do. Now, this is obviously just my interpretation, okay? I'm not a spokesperson. I would be a terrible spokesperson for any of those organizations. No one voted me in, but I'm just saying my experience was all about, it was all about reason. What's the reason I'm writing this list? Well, it's because I don't want to die, okay? I don't want to drink again, which for me to drink is to die. So I'm writing these lists, and I'm reading these books, and I've got this very disciplined way of being in the world, and it kept me safe from alcohol and drugs for a very long time. But then it also inhibited me from living a life full of color and a life full of imagination. And so I kind of, opened this little box of okay, I think I'm gonna host a workshop. And it came to me that, I would do this, and I would call it Writing Beyond Reason. And I don't hold an MFA in creative writing, and I don't hold any degrees in anything. And I thought that was the ticket, the permission slip that I needed, because every workshop or retreat I'd ever been to was with professionals. And so there's a little yurt over here on 8th Street in Spokane called Heart Space Yurt. It is a community space. You can rent it. Any of you in here can rent it at any time. It's free. And I started having these workshops, and people started filling them. And we shared our broken hearts, and we showed our bellies to each other. And no one looked away. That was the magic. Nobody looked away. And I kept doing that over and over again, and exposing that thing in me that I thought was going to hurt me, And Pema Chodron talks about that. She talks about that place in us that's invincible. And that's what I found through poetry. I found the truth, and that was that the people that were threatened by my poetry and my truth-telling just weren't my people. Not bad people, just not my people. And then I found that I did, in fact, love and want people in my life and need people in my life, but not as much as I needed to be the person in my own life. That I needed to not abandon this ship. And so I made that promise to myself. And I've been living a life for the last, 18 months, trusting myself, trusting the me that got here today, that said, I think I would love to be the poet laureate. I think I would love that. And I looked at the list of qualifications, and they didn't say you had to have a MFA. They said, community service and outreach and, a love for words. And I had qualifications, because I was living this life that said, even if I don't have the title of Poet Laureate, I'm the Poet Laureate. This is what I do. And there might be some of you in here that are the Poet Laureate too. There might be some of you in here that are world's best lasagna maker laureate. Those are the, she's front row. Those are all the different ways that we tell our stories, that we tell, we tell our poems and our stories and our songs through dance, through crochet, through service work, through gardening, all these things. There's not one way up the mountain. That's kind of like the whole premise of this place, isn't it? That there's not one way up the mountain. We celebrate all the ways. I love your church, by the way. And then a few years ago, my beautiful brother Adrian passed away, and he passed away abruptly from an overdose. And up until that very week, he was writing me poems from the Chelan County Jail. And he had overdosed 3 times in jail the week before, and then he was released and passed away. And what was amazing to me about that was the human spirit, that you could be at once dying from a disease like addiction, which is so cunning, because it's the disease that says, nothing to see here, we're fine. And then at once also be this poet. He was sending me bookmarks and lyrics and ideas and dreams he had for starting a business and all these things, and dying at the exact same time. This is poetry. It's the truth of and. But when he passed away, something broke open in me that I can only relate to animal. I was just closer to animal than I had ever been before. In that I just could not deny it. I just couldn't deny it. I couldn't deny what was true. So I've been building a life since then, determined to bring poetry, and even if it's not poetry, just bringing power to this idea that everyone's story matters. And so this work of using the Poet Laureate as a position to actually offer human aid and mutual aid, it is beautiful to be published. That's, of course, every writer wants to be published, but that's not enough. It's not enough. And so we're going to continue to bring poetry into places and spaces we wouldn't normally imagine as poetic. I grew up thinking that poetry was for those that went to Ivy League colleges. It was like the gated community of arts, and I was like the chimney sweep, I was like, I'm just the help. And now I get to be a helper. So starting April 19th, myself and another individual, we're going to be bringing an 8-week poetry class into Airway Heights Men's Correctional Facility. We're going to have 30 inmates, 30 students in our classroom that are going to be reading and writing and discussing poetry and what it means to be a person in the world. And I still host workshops, so maybe there will be a way for you to get connected, to come to one of the workshops and see for yourself what it is like. And even if you don't think you're creative or poetic, I would invite you to come and just see if that's actually true or not. And this idea that I'm bringing poetry into classrooms. I also don't have a teaching certificate. But it's amazing the opportunities that show up when you just bring your whole heart to the table. And a willingness and an enthusiasm. And enthusiasm, speaking of like words, it means the God within. It's like root word is enthuse. And that's what I have for poetry. That's what I have for you today, is just this enthusiasm that words matter. They mean something. And they've meant life for me. It didn't save my brother. There's a lot of people it doesn't save, but it saved me. And it's probably saved a few of us. And really it's just a gift. So I'm going to end with a poem that I wrote. It's a grieving poem, but it's a celebration poem for my brother Adrian. It's called Winged Now. Butterflies on cue. That's how you come to me now. With the music up, your full blast, your seal-like laugh. Remember you on one knee, reciting poetry to the girl with citrine eyes. Now I run towards you, reaching out to grasp at the ghost of an invisible disease. How much for these teeth? How much for these teeth? But I cannot afford them. Now winged, your dentin is exalted. I am reaching out to save what is left of your reputation. What became of you was not the way that I remember you. At night, reaching down from your top bunk to pop the small pockets of air from in between my toes, just because. A gesture all your own. On Friday nights, some girl in the back seat, I rode shotgun as we played our favorite song and you whistled along. I'd always be your number one. If God is, well, then God is someplace that's safe, met with crooks and forgotten poets, and you are there now, running. Thank you.
Are we going to sing? Oh, yes. I wasn't going to sing myself, no. Okay. Thank you very much, Mary. That was amazing.
Please feel free to join us. You all know it. Okay.
Thank you. Our closing words today are a quote from Gilda Radner. I wanted a perfect ending. Now I've learned the hard way that some poems don't rhyme, and some stories don't have a clear beginning, middle, and end. Life is about not knowing, having to change, taking the moment and making the best of it without knowing what's going to happen next. Delicious ambiguity. Amen. Blessed be. Salam alaikum and shalom.